for the exceptionally bad lighting again, but hey, what can you do? It's just that kind of evening. Hello guys, welcome. If you've already seen my channel before, welcome back. I am the Philadelphia Whovian, and once again I'm in my work environment doing a video, and I have no choice. It's a busy week this week. I have literally no choice. Alright, so this is going to be part 3 on my Daleks versus Cybermen, communists versus Nazism, or, you know, right versus left. I gotta remember to keep switching that around. When I say that one, I should say Daleks versus Cybermen, Nazism versus communism, then right versus left. Just keep them all in one good sequence. So well, there we go. So, okay, this is again part 3, and to really get into this sequence of videos, you gotta watch part 1 and part 2 first. It's the only way you're going to forgive this exceptionally bad lighting for this video. It's the only way. You'll see I began in a way where there was light, and then slowly the light faded, and I'm stuck with this. Okay. So guys, when it comes to this subject matter, we've already talked about the idea of Daleks versus Cybermen, Nazism and versus communism, and extreme right behavior versus extreme left. So you know at this point that I not only believe of the idea of talking about the Dalek and Cybermen, not only in a political situation, but in a social media situation of identifying, are we all Daleks internally, and also are we also Cybermen? About how the dark side of our natures has and can contain both of those sorts of villainy at the same time. Or those villainous traits. The traits that the Dalek have of despising anything that is not like it, we have in our natures. But the Cybermen concept of, I am like this and I will fight to make you what I am, even killing you in the process. I kill you because it's for your own good. And I will do everything to make you like me. If killing you requires that for the sake of purifying what you are and purifying all of us, I will do so. Now, people often think, well, these are easy things to identify when it comes to dealing with other people, but in a social way, it's not always so. And sometimes it's only till after the fact, long after the fact, that you even identify what the problem was all along. I'm going to give you a historical example, because those people know my job, I work in a historic place. I'm going to give you an historic example of a founding father and one of the signers of the Declaration of Independence, who I called one of the very first Cybermen of the Revolution. His name was Dr. Benjamin Rush. Those of you who know American history might have been familiar with Dr. Benjamin Rush. He was a philanthropist, and he again was one of the signers, and also he was a very influential man here in Philadelphia, and he was a very legendary doctor. God knows I would never want him to work on me if he was my doctor, because he believed in bloodletting. Yes, that man believed if you're sick, just bleed the person, just bleed them. Yeah. No offense, Benjamin, but the amount of people who died probably under your, under your care, yeah, you're not my favorite guy. Sorry, Benjamin Rush, you're just not. Okay, but there's another part of Benjamin Rush's history that really appeals and kind of falls into the category of Cybermen behavior. And it has to do with when he encountered a man named Henry Moss. Henry Moss was an African American or a black man or a freed Negro, whatever term you want to give to it, here in 18th century America. Henry Moss, again, was black, my complexion. But one day, Henry Moss began to realize something. He began to turn a different skin color. His skin began in certain parts to get lighter. And as we all know, that's a known, at this point in history, that is a known skin condition of people who start out black and then gradually they turn whiter, parts of them turn whiter over time. Henry Moss began to realize, oh my gosh, I'm turning white. So what did he do? I don't know what building he did this in, but he began to set up a performance or display for people where people paid about a couple of coins, a couple of shillings or pence or whatever to come and see him. They would come in and see him. He would remove his chest. Sorry, well, that was totally wrong. He removed his shirt and he showed everybody how parts of his body, his skin, were turning white. This, of course, shocked everyone, and people did come from many places to see Henry Moss, to see this black man turning white. And Henry Moss, of course, logically, of course he made a career, a slight career out of this, make money where you can. But he did this to show the fascination of turning a different skin color. Well, guess who came eventually to one of his performances? Dr. Benjamin Rush. Dr. Benjamin Rush came and saw Henry Moss and saw how parts of his skin, significant chunks of his skin, were turning white. He believed, after seeing this, oh my God, this means that the black condition, or the black individual, or the Negro, there are worse terms to call it at that time, but I'll stick with Negro, is a condition that can and should be cured. It turns out being black was just a condition. It was almost like a disease. And every black person at some point has the ability to turn white. And he set about a mission to cure experiments to cure black people of our condition. He thought he could cure black people and turn them white. And he went on to some pretty disgusting experiments to try and succeed with this. Of course, he didn't, but it doesn't stop the fact that he still went on some very scary. I don't think he ever outright killed a black person, but I could be wrong. I don't know all the lengths his experiments went, but there were some, drastic things he did, thinking he could cure the black condition and therefore make white people, the universal race, because clearly black people, or the black condition, was a disease that could be cured, and black people really were supposed to be white and were going to eventually all turn white. And therefore, he was going to make all of us like each other. He was, what I told you before, I called him, the Founding Fathers, he was the first revolutionary Cyberman, or cyber planner. Because what was his mission at the end of it? Was to make all of us the same. All of us were to be like his species. Like the Cybermen said, you will become one of us. We will cure you. You will become one of us. That was Dr. Benjamin Rush's true aim and dream when it came to Henry, after he saw Henry Moss. Idea of making the black person like himself. He was going for equality. He said, this way we can all be equal now if I make you like us. The Cyberman mentality. Why am I talking about this? Because one, to show you how in 2019 everybody's like, oh, we're shutting out oppression. No, first of all, this is 2019. We've got it good. So look at Henry Moss's situation. Look at what black people were going through at that time. What you SJWs who are constantly talking about how the times are terrible, I have no idea what you're talking about. We are living in good times. But also because how this idea of changing someone into your species because you think that them being different than you in any way, shape, or form is an abomination. This is scary, and it's not always easy to identify a person doing that until long after it gets done. And this goes back to what's going on, I feel, right now with Doctor Who. Anyone who saw my original journey when it comes to Doctor Who, once I found out Jodie Whittaker got cast, if you saw me from the very beginning of my journey all the way to all my other videos, at the very beginning, I expressly said, even though I don't understand why the Doctor is being turned into a woman, I'm slightly uncomfortable with that idea. In the same way, I'm uncomfortable with the idea of a woman being turned into a man for the idea of progress. It's the same way I'm going to be uncomfortable with a man turning into a woman and being called progressive. No, it's the same way. I'm being equal in the same direction, but I will give it a chance. I will be open to it and hope it is good. But soon into me trying to open myself up to this, I heard all these interviews from Jodie Whittaker to Chibnall to Chris Eccleston talking about how it was bad for the Doctor to have been a man all this time, how the Doctor has been a man or been a white man for long enough. as if the idea of turning the doctor, a male character, into a female character was being progressive, and they thought they were being revolutionary and they were being helpful. All along, they were being Cybermen. And they just, and Jodie Whittaker, Chibnall, Chris Eccleston, with that, all those thoughts, all those what you believe, just goes to show how in the name of, again, progress, how you will adopt the whole I will change you for your own good, but your idea of changing someone is changing them to look like this certain person which you find to be progressive, but the idea, the very concept of changing someone to look like you and calling that progressive, saying that the doctor has to be made into a female character in the eyes of progression. It's the only way he can evolve is to be turned into a woman. Why? Because this person is a woman. Jodie Whittaker is a woman. So the doctor has to be turned into a woman for progress. The idea of the male condition being wrong and must be cured by being turned into a female is just terrible. It is the Cyberman's argument, but also it's the Daleks' argument. The idea of eradicating men or pushing men away from something because it's not pure to you. It's wrong. That's why when the more I listen to Jodie Whittaker speak and Chris Chibnall speak and Chris Eccleston speak when the 13th Doctor was cast, the more disgusted I became with all three of them. And Jodie Whittaker, Chibnall, or Chris Eccleston, if you're watching this, I have no qualms saying this to your face. In fact, find me, and I will say this to your face. What I find disgusting and repulsive about you three is the fact that without knowing it, you are promoting the idea of the only way progress can happen is if you turn a person into this type of way. The only way the doctor can be progressive or can be finally at the plateau you want them to be is if the doctor was turned into a woman. No, men are gone. We must push women away. The doctor's been a man for long enough. The doctor was a male character. There's nothing wrong with actors, men, playing a male character. There's nothing wrong about that. By saying that, you're saying men are wrong for being men, and the only way progress can happen is to turn them into women. This is the Cyberman's mentality with a tinge of the Dalek mentality in it. Again, like I said before, we're all Daleks. We're all Cybermen internally when it comes to the side of us that are bad. All of us are this way. We all contain this. I contain it. I can be a Dalek sometimes. I can be a Cyberman, but I know I can. My fear with Jodie, Chibnall, and Eccleston is you three are definitely Daleks and Cybermen at the same time, but I'm not entirely sure any of you know it. And that's what makes you the most dangerous. You, with the saying the doctor must be female and it's been a man for long enough, the fact that it's not been a woman at this point is just wrong. We must remove men from this role and put a woman in here in that way. That is the exact same thing as when Benjamin Rush, I know you think it's different, it's not. It's the same mentality as Dr. Benjamin Rush seeing a black man turning white and saying, great, the only way we can duly be progressive is if we take black people and make them all like us, make them all white. With the doctor being a female, I was open to it even though I was uncomfortable with it because I thought Jodie Whittaker was into it because she was a big fan of Doctor Who. She loved Patrick Troughton, John Pertwee, she loved Classic Who and New Who, she loved the history, she loved the monsters. But when I found out how it was about just being progressive, because the doctor's been a man for long enough and we must cure him of the fact that he was a man for all this time. And he was a man for way too long. I had no choice but to walk away and bow out because I've seen the products of that mentality and it never ends well because it's the most dangerous mentality to have that often goes unchecked because everyone thinks you're being progressive. No, you are actually slowly removing the true individualism without knowing it. You are actually saying, in order for progress to happen, we all must look like this or this character must look like this. They must change the way they were from this point, and must make them completely change their gender for the sake of being corrective, is the Cyberman's argument, with the Dalek feel to it. And for that, I could not support it. That's why I went from a dramatic, like, even though I'm uncomfortable with the Doctor being a female because I don't understand the change, because I already looked at all the women in Doctor Who as female versions of the Doctor, it did not matter that their name was not Doctor. From 1963 onward, I looked at the female companions as the Doctor as well. Because even though I was like that, I've already had female doctors. Even though their name was not Doctor, I was still going to open myself up to this new Doctor. But I gradually, not gradually, very swiftly, said, whoa, I can't support this. Because this is the Cyberman's mentality, the Cyberman's argument. I cannot support it. That's why I feel as I do. If you feel you get to change the look, change the gender or the race of somebody, and to make them look like you, because by looking like you, they are correct. If you feel like you have to do that, you have to ask yourself why you can't accept someone who is different than you. Why must you make someone the same as you in order to feel like representation truly exists? True equality happens when we all accept each other no matter how different we are from each other. When men accept women despite that we are different than them. When we women accept men despite that we are different, they are different from us. When white people accept black people and black people accept white people. And my last argument is, for me, when I watch Doctor Who from season 1 all the way down to series 10, when I saw the Doctor, I did not see a white man. I just saw the Doctor. I didn't care that he looked different than me. I saw the choices he made, the character development he went on, and the adventures he went through, and the companions he chose to be with. I saw the choices he made, because that's what we are at the end. We are our choices. And I reached a level of enlightenment that Jodie Whittaker, Chibnall, and Eccleston, you will never understand. To be able to look at somebody and not care that they look completely different than you, and still connect to them anyway. That is a level of enlightenment you failed to understand. Because you forced me to see a white man has been in this part for so long, so now we must remove him and do this. You forced me to see difference as being wrong. Different than me being wrong. You forced me off of a level of enlightenment that you could not possibly understand. And I'm saying this as a black female, an African-American female who is proud of it. I honestly don't want to be anything else. I don't want to be white. I don't want to be a male. I am an African-American female, and I honest to God don't ever want to be anything else. I can't even fathom being white. I love being black. I can't fathom being a man. I love being a female. I am proud in every way of what I am. But I can look at a white person and still see a brother. I can look at a white man and still see brother. I can still look at a white woman and still see sister. I don't need to turn them into me to feel like equality happens. I just need you to take me with you. And take me alongside you and give me all equal rights and equal representation. Be who you are, but let me be who I am at the same time. That's what I ask for a role in society. I don't need to extinguish your role. I just need my role to be there as well. I reached a level of enlightenment, and now you took me down from that. And for that, I cannot forgive you. So guys, thank you for watching my channel once again. If you feel differently than me, that's perfectly fine. Let me know in the comment section. I will respect what you feel. I'm here for you. I am. I just think differently than you, and that should be okay. So guys, thank you so much. Talk to you later. Bye guys. And sorry for this long-ass series of videos. Bye guys.